Um, there have been, up until this point, up until probably Windows 7, that the viewers that we were using were all 32-bit because most people's operating systems were 32-bit. However, with recently, especially with Windows 7, a lot of people, especially gamers, are getting 64-bit systems because we can run more RAM on our computers if we have a 64-bit computer, or a 64-bit operating system. Each operating system, if it's 32-bit, there's a limited amount of RAM that it will support. 64-bit system, there's a larger group of RAM that it will support. And for someone who's a gamer who does video games, RAM is one of the most important things to have as far as speed of processing. Right, thank you, Slashy. Singularity has two. Singularity has a 32-bit and a 64-bit viewer.
Which one is it to download for InWorld and the OpenSim one for Singularity?
Just the standard 32-bit will have the open grid where you can add the grid as needed. It's not like Firestorm where you have the different variants.
That's the one that I'm using. So how do I? Do you have to go into like preference and just change it over, or do you just
Let me see. I may have a note card for you. I'm not sure if this Abby has it or not. Yes, I
Yes,
think I have it.
Rick Coyote, Firestorm is working over in InWorlds very well. Firestorm has two possibilities, one specifically for SL and one that's for OpenSim. The problem has been there are those of us that use Firestorm wanting to have two Firestorms on our computer. So what you have to, there's something about you have to rename the OpenSim Firestorm differently and have it come out of a different part of your computer in order to have the two Firestorms on your computer. If you don't do it that way, the OpenSim Firestorm will kick out the viewer for SL. Likely.
Which one of you was asking about how do you set that up? I have a note card with that for Singularity.
That was Elizabeth.
Alright. There you go. Here's the instruction card, Elizabeth. Anyone else that needed that card?
Sure, pass that to me, Zia Lernia.
You got it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I believe that's the correct card. Nope, sorry, that's the wrong one.
Okay, well, just pass me the other one.
I may have to dig a bit for it. Yeah, here it is. Sorry about that, guys. And
Thank you, Gnarly.
you're welcome. There you go. Sorry about that one. That last one was a way to immunize against flash crashers.
Well, that could come in handy as well.
Yes, it can.
There was a question about compatibility between the two worlds. Several people have tried to use, and to be honest, Firestorm works in both worlds. And yes, you can play an SL on the same viewer and go to InWorlds. One of the problems that's been happening to those of us that play in both worlds when we tried to do that is it seemed that the cache in the viewer got confused as to which world we were going into. One of the key differences between InWorlds and Second Life is in InWorlds you actually do need to clear your cache every day in your viewer, whereas in Second Life if you do that you walk around as a ghost on a constant basis. You can't. You have to have cache loaded into Second Life in order for you to res properly. Whereas in InWorlds, if you don't clear your cache every day, it won't res properly. So it's opposite in that sense. So what most of us have done, and this takes some memory on your computers, not a whole lot, but it does, is we have one viewer that we play Second Life on and another viewer that we play InWorlds on. And if you decide that you want to have two, Amore and I are inevitably in both worlds at the same time, and sometimes having that little check mark of enable more viewers to operate at the same time comes in real handy because I will be, what I do is I use Firestorm in Second Life, and I use the InWorlds beta viewer in InWorlds, and so I will have those two running at the same time sometimes on my computer. I didn't do it today, like I said when I started, because I had computer problems and I need to get some parts. So I'm babying my little computer right now.
I know the feeling, Zia. I lost the heat sink.
Oh, yeah. Then you know what I'm talking about. I didn't lose the heat sink. Some cable issues.
Right.
One of my Ethernet cables went out and I had to dig for one, and some other, there was my graphics card is having some issues, but I have to wait until this holiday weekend is over to fix it.
Well, I need to call PNY and find out why the drivers for my new graphics card will not compat to my system. That, and I gotta go buy a new fan. Think I beat on this E-machine enough, Zia?
Yes, it sounds like you have. And I'm surprised you have babied that E-machine to keep going this long. I'm sorry, Gnarly, but you know that E-machine has got to be ready for the museum.
Well, she's an old girl, but you know how it is when you went to school for electronics when you were young. You get a hold of a good machine, you try to keep it as long as you can.
Yes, I know. Yes, Nydia?
Yeah, she just filmed me as a Viking in the InWorlds.
Oh, Jen, that's so funny. Nydia, what did you want to ask? So we can close it down if that's where you were going with this. We've all wound down and are starting to just hang out and chat anyway.
Oh, I'm not entirely sure, but I use a double copy of Singularity to run in both worlds. I haven't seemed to have too much issue with it unless I'm down on ground level on my region.
I can't do that. My computer will literally cry if I have two viewers up in two different worlds. So I have to use a text viewer and a full graphics viewer.
Uh-oh.
Elizabeth, most of us are not require it doesn't require us to be in two worlds at the same time, so you're fine. What I'm saying is it might be easier for you to have two viewers loaded on your machine, not necessarily used at the same time, but one viewer that you go to play in InWorlds and one viewer that you use to play here in SL. Not lots and lots and lots of us do not have two worlds open at the same time. Amore and I got in the habit of doing that because for some reason when everyone needs their avatars linked, and that requires their avatar to be in InWorlds, and then they log out and go to SL. Time-wise, it's easier for us to just have our avatars in both worlds so that we can get you guys to the side on the other side in SL. So for us, it's a pretty normal thing, but most people don't have to do that at all.
No, it's just a bad habit.
Well, I know
It's
I got in the
laziness,
habit
actually. It's laziness, actually.
as my SL family's closing up here, down to just being pretty much visitors to SL, we're starting to transition to InWorlds. So I've had to have both viewers open, where I'm shutting down shops and whatnot in this world, and building my region in that world.
Yes, and that can be a real trying on your machine. I've done that.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
It sure can. My machine bounces and hollers occasionally.
Hmm. And as I said earlier about handsome avatar, and it's better in InWorlds. Nadia is filming me in InWorlds right now. If you have the video on.
Is that what she was yelling at me about? Is she wants me over there now?
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know if that would be a good idea because I'm kind of in my elf outfit. Oh shoot! All right.
Yeah. Well, I think she's expecting you to hunt me with the broom. So she can catch that on camera.
Oh. Well, Nydia, I have the frying pan on this side. I don't have a broom scripted over there yet. And yes, thank you all so much for being here. I'm glad that you were all interested. And if you have any friends that have heard or want to ask questions, definitely have them ask us. Send an IM to Elenia. She will get them. She's not in SL very often, but she will get them on her computer in her emails, and she can get back with you.
And as soon as we get the link to the YouTube to this,
Yes, there is an elf
this
place,
meeting,
Eric.
we put it out so you can you can give it to them so they can watch this on YouTube. Isn't that right, Nadia? Yeah, that's perfect. We're going to send out the link as soon as we get it. We send it out in the groups. And as Sia said, it's just to come to our center if you have any questions.
There, actually, Jake, there's the Elf Clan Sims, which is predominantly the old world elf realms, and then there's also Linnell, which takes it's it's more like Dungeons and Dragons survival of different clans and communities. So it just depends on where you want to go, and what kinds of RP you want to do. But yes, there's lots of RP over there. Yes, with Robin. You're right. Elizabeth, I'm a nerd. I'll say it right up because I get caught. Well, Amore calls me a dork all the time, but that's beside the point.
I haven't said anything.
I have to say that yes, I may be a female, but I'm a gamer. I'm a hardcore gamer. I started playing games with my children, and I'm an older person, but I'm a gamer. I love RP. I love all of that. So yeah, Amore is right. If you guys do come over and check it out and you have an affinity for something, I probably know where it is.
I play RPGs and I know a lot about Star Trek. And I play Star Trek Online, but I'm not a Trekkie! I'm not a Trekkie. No one can prove that.
I am.
See, I just said I'm almost not almost. I'm every time I'm